Ladies, let's talk about boundaries because the truth is, without them, you open the door to disrespect, confusion, and emotional exhaustion. A man will only treat you at the level you require, not the level you hope for. And if you don't set the right boundaries, you'll find yourself constantly frustrated, feeling unappreciated, and questioning your worth. But when you establish clear, firm boundaries, you create a relationship that is built on mutual respect, understanding, and deep emotional connection. A confident woman doesn't beg for love, she sets standards for it. She doesn't tolerate inconsistency, she requires stability, and she doesn't accept whatever a man gives. She makes it clear what she will and will not allow. Because a man will always test what he can and cannot do, not because he's trying to hurt you, but because it's human nature. And if you don't make your boundaries clear, he will assume they don't exist. The way a man speaks to you and treats you is a direct reflection of the level of respect he has for you. A confident woman understands that words have power and she does not allow herself to be spoken to in a way that diminishes her worth. Whether it's in private or in public, how a man communicates with you sets the tone for the entire relationship. This is why setting a boundary on how you are spoken to and treated is essential to protecting your self-respect and emotional well-being. Many women, in an effort to keep the peace or avoid confrontation, allow small moments of disrespect to slide. A sarcastic remark, a dismissive response, a raised voice in an argument. It may seem minor in the moment, but over time, these behaviors can escalate. When a man sees that he can get away with speaking to you in a disrespectful manner, he will continue to test that limit. It starts with an insensitive joke, then turns into a habit of disregarding your feelings. And before you know it, you are in a relationship where you feel unheard, unappreciated, and emotionally drained. Setting this boundary means making it clear from the start that you will not tolerate being spoken to in a disrespectful, dismissive, or hurtful way. This includes name calling, yelling, sarcasm meant to belittle, or any form of verbal manipulation. It also means refusing to accept passive aggressive behavior where a man dismisses your concerns or makes you feel like your emotions are an inconvenience. A man who truly respects you will take your words, feelings, and needs seriously. If he does not, then he is not the right man for you. Beyond words, treatment is just as important. How does he show up for you? Does he keep his word or does he constantly make promises he doesn't keep? Does he value your time or does he expect you to always adjust your schedule to accommodate his? Does he acknowledge your efforts in the relationship or does he take you for granted? These are all things that reveal the level of respect a man has for you. And if he consistently falls short, it is up to you to enforce the boundary that says, I deserve better than this. One of the biggest mistakes women make is making excuses for a man's behavior. They tell themselves, maybe he didn't mean it that way, or maybe I'm being too sensitive. But deep down, they feel the sting of disrespect and they know when they are not being valued. Ignoring these feelings and allowing bad behavior to continue will only lead to resentment and frustration. That is why it is so important to set the standard early on and to stand firm in it. When you enforce this boundary, you are not being too much or too demanding. You are simply showing that you respect yourself. And the right man will honor that. The right man will speak to you with kindness, communicate with you with respect, and treat you in a way that aligns with the love and care you give to him. The wrong man will complain, make excuses, or try to convince you that you are asking for too much. But a man who truly values you will recognize that respecting you is not an option, it is a requirement. A relationship without clarity is a relationship destined for confusion and frustration. Too many women find themselves in situations where they are giving their all to a man who is unsure about them. They invest their time, emotions, and energy into a relationship that lacks direction, hoping that one day he will commit. But a confident woman knows that love should not be built on uncertainty. She sets the boundary that if a man wants to be with her, he must be clear about his intentions, his level of commitment, and what he is bringing to the relationship. One of the biggest mistakes women make is settling for inconsistency. They allow a man to come in and out of their lives on his terms, texting when it's convenient for him, making plans when he feels like it, and keeping them guessing about where they stand. A woman who values herself does not entertain mixed signals. She does not accept vague answers when she asks about the future of the relationship. If a man is serious about her, he will have no problem being clear about his level of commitment. If he is hesitant, unsure, or avoids the conversation altogether, then that is already an answer he is not ready or willing to give her what she deserves. Loyalty is another essential part of commitment. A woman must make it clear from the start that she does not accept cheating, emotional affairs, or behaviors that disrespect the relationship. Some men will try to blur the line, saying things like, it didn't mean anything, or it was just a message, nothing serious. But a woman with strong boundaries does not negotiate on respect. She does not tolerate a man entertaining other women, being secretive with his phone, or creating unnecessary doubt in the relationship. If he values the relationship, he will protect it. If he truly wants to be with her, he will not put himself in situations that could damage the trust they have built. This also applies to men who claim they need time to figure out what they want. A woman with clear boundaries does not wait around indefinitely for a man to make up his mind. If he is not ready to commit, then she is strong enough to walk away. She does not force a man to be with her. She allows him to choose, but if he is unsure, she chooses herself. She does not lower her standards or waste her time hoping he will come around. Instead, she makes it clear that she deserves someone who knows her worth from the beginning. The way a man treats commitment says everything about how he values the relationship. A man who is serious will not make a woman question where she stands. He will not keep her in a gray area hoping she will accept the bare minimum. He will step up, be consistent, and make his intentions clear. And a confident woman does not entertain anything less. If a man cannot meet the standard of commitment, then he is not the man for her. A woman's personal space, time, and energy are some of the most valuable things she has, and a man should never feel entitled to them. Too often, women lose themselves in relationships, pouring everything they have into a man while neglecting their own needs, passions, and individuality. They make him the center of their world, adjusting their schedules, their priorities, and even their dreams to accommodate him. But a confident woman understands that while love is about connection, it should never require self-sacrifice to the point of losing one's identity. Setting boundaries around personal space means making it clear that just because she is in a relationship does not mean she has to be available 24/7. She does not need to answer every text immediately, drop everything to accommodate his plans, or always be at his side. A healthy relationship is one where both partners have their own lives, and a man should respect that she has commitments, friendships, and interests outside of him. If he expects her to be constantly accessible, gets upset when she takes time for herself, or tries to isolate her from the things that bring her joy, that is a red flag. Her time is just as valuable as his. A woman with strong boundaries does not tolerate a man who is inconsistent with his time, constantly making last-minute plans, or only reaching out when it's convenient for him. She does not rearrange her schedule for a man who does not prioritize her. If he values her, he will respect her time by making an effort, planning in advance, and being consistent in his presence. She does not chase, she does not beg for attention, and she does not allow a man to dictate when and how he shows up in her life. Her energy is sacred, and she does not waste it on situations or people that drain her. A relationship should be a source of love, joy, and support, not constant stress, overthinking, or emotional exhaustion. If she finds herself always overgiving, always being the one to fix things, always being the emotional support system without receiving the same in return, then that is a sign that her boundaries are being crossed. A confident woman understands that a relationship should feel like a partnership, not a burden. If a man is constantly bringing negativity, drama, or emotional instability into her life, she has every right to protect her peace by setting firm limits or walking away. Another important part of this boundary is maintaining her independence. A strong woman does not allow a relationship to consume her to the point where she loses sight of herself. She continues to pursue her goals, build her career, and nurture her passions. She does not let a man's needs overshadow her own. If a man is intimidated by her ambition, resents the time she spends on her personal growth, or tries to make her feel guilty for prioritizing herself, then he is not the right partner for her. A real man will support her dreams, not stand in the way of them. She also does not tolerate controlling behavior. A man who constantly questions her whereabouts, tries to dictate who she can spend time with, or expects her to give up her social life for him is a man who does not respect her autonomy. Love should never come with conditions that require sacrificing freedom. A confident woman makes it clear that she will not be in a relationship where she feels suffocated or restricted. She deserves trust, respect, and a love that allows her to be her full self. A woman with strong boundaries does not allow herself to become depleted in the name of love. She knows that in order to show up as the best version of herself in a relationship, she must first take care of herself. She rests when she needs to. She protects her mental and emotional well-being, and she does not feel guilty for prioritizing self-care. She understands that true love is not about giving endlessly without receiving in return. It is about balance, reciprocity, and mutual respect. By enforcing these boundaries, she sets the standard for how she deserves to be treated. She teaches a man that while she loves him, she also loves herself. She makes it clear that her life does not revolve around him, and she expects him to respect her time, her energy, and her space. The right man will honor these boundaries because he will see them as a reflection of her self-worth. The wrong man will try to challenge them, guilt trip her, or make her feel like she is asking for too much. But a woman who truly values herself knows that protecting her peace is never too much, it is necessary. Ladies, boundaries are not about pushing a man away, they are about keeping the right man close. The man who truly loves and respects you will honor your boundaries, not challenge them. He will see them as a reflection of your self-worth, and he will rise to meet the standard you set. But it starts with you. When you know your worth, when you communicate your boundaries clearly, and when you refuse to settle, you create the foundation for a love that is healthy, fulfilling, and built to last.